Hi guys, it's your boy Six. Now, in our last video, we actually learned how to use Vue.js with the CLI, how to create components, how to route between them, and many different things about components. Now, today we're actually going to be learning how to use 4 basic Vue.js directives I believe every Vue.js developer should know. Now, these things will make your life generally a lot easier. So, let's actually figure out what these are after this. Alright, so now we're actually inside our basic Vue.js. I just want to say that this is the simplest way you could possibly include Vue.js in any project. If you look up here, I have a script tag with a link to a CDN delivering Vue to my application. And at the bottom, I have my Vue instance and another pair of script tags. That's pretty much it. And if you notice inside the body, I have a div with an ID of app. And if you look here, it says element app. This means that all my Vue logic and processes will be run within an element with the ID of app. So now that that's cleared, let's get into this. If you look up here, I have just some default styles. You can pause the video and just copy this. This is just so that we don't have a bland page when we start, and we actually have a little bit of something we can look at once we loop through these items. So now v4, it's one of those things that is kind of like the magic of Vue.js. Now, just a second, let's look at our component as it is right now. It just says hello world. All it does is print out the message, right? So now what if we had a bunch of objects, let's say from an Ajax request that had, a list of results that we wanted to display? How in the world would we possibly, let's say, repeat every new item inside that array or inside that list or inside that object without doing JavaScript the old-fashioned long way without a framework? First, we're actually going to delete message and start completely fresh. Delete message, save that, and just so you guys can see what's going on, complete transparency here, this is gone, right? We're going to come back to this. Now we're going to make an array or an object called people. And people is going to be an array, and inside this array of people, we're actually going to just do name and age. So we'll do name, can't spell name. We're going to do name William, comma, and his age is going to be 21. Let's separate it by another comma, do another object. We're going to do name code 6, age is 21. Alright, so that's perfect. Let's actually this is kind of bugging me, just get it squared away. Alright, so now this is you can imagine this as being our list of objects or our response back from a database using Ajax, something along those lines, right? So now we have this h1 in here. It's just an empty h1. So what we actually want to do is do v-4. This is the v4 directive. Person and people. And I just want to elaborate something. When I say person and people, it doesn't mean that, Vue.js knows what person is in regards to people. I could have called this for something in people, for anything in people, as long as the second part where it says in is the name of this, which is people, which is our list of objects or our one giant, array with a bunch of objects in it. So for person and people, do this, or for person and people, it'll keep spitting out this list. So now we're going to do some string interpolation here, and we're going to do person dot name, and we're just going to come in here and say person dot age. So each one of these is now called a person, right? Save that, and what will happen if we actually come back to our Chrome browser, hit refresh? It echoes out a list of each person. Now, what if we went back into our code and let's remove Michael from this equation? Michael is a goner. What happens? Refresh. Michael is out. So in a nutshell, guys, this is how v4 works in Vue.js. Alright, so now for this example, we're going to be doing the onClick, which is probably one of the most important things when it comes to any sort of application, because if you can't allow a click listener, how in the world are you actually going to have people use your application? So now at the top, we just have a style that just styles the button, and you can actually see that here. That's all that does. And if you check at the top, we're importing Vue.js using a CDN script tag, and at the bottom, we're instantiating Vue.js with another script tag. And of course, you see our div of ID app where all our logic will get rendered. Now, let's actually get right into this, wasting no time. So as you can see right here, the message says click me, and we're interpolating that into the button. So that's the text that you see up here. Now, what we want to do is we're going to do v-on::click equals, and then right in here is going to be whatever method you want to run while this button is clicked. But as of now, we have no method. So we're going to come down here to the methods tag, and we're just going to do something that says, we're going to actually call a method do something. So we're going to type in do something, and this is going to be our method. And for this method, it's not going to do anything crazy. It's just going to alert and say, yay, we've been clicked, or I've been clicked. All right, here we go. So of course in JavaScript, you don't have to actually put your semicolons at the end of things, but it's probably a good thing to do so. So now what we're going to do is just put our method called do something inside the onClick, and watch this, do something. And in Vue.js, you don't actually have to put your brackets after do something. Do something will just work because Vue.js is awesome. So we're going to save this. Come to our example, of course, reload the page. And now when we click this, there should be an alert that says, yay, I've been clicked. This is the v-on::click demonstration. Okay, so now we're back with another example. So just a heads up, just to begin this off, have a script tag importing Vue.js. We have some inline styles. We have our div of ID app that has our h1, 2 breaks and an input. We have a script tag instantiating our Vue.js, well, instance obviously, and that is all you need to know to begin this. Now, what vModel actually really does is it syncs a piece of data such as message to something like an input field. So that means they'll have the same piece of information. And let me just show you the page we're actually getting just to begin with. Refresh it just to make sure nothing's actually going on. Type in the field, nothing happens, right? Okay, let's say you wanted to submit a form and you wanted to get what the user typed in the field. vModel comes in very handy. And let's actually implement vModel, which is probably the easiest thing to do. So now we have the data element called message. What if we want to change the message live as we type something into the input field? Let's do that. We'll do v-model equals, vModel equals, and inside these quotes, you're actually going to put the piece of data that you want to link to. So in this case, we're going to do message. And that is it. That's all for vModel. Watch this in action. So now as you can see, hello world is actually inside the text field. As we begin to erase, it actually erases live. Hi guys, it's your boy Six. Alright, thanks for watching vModel. Alright guys, so this is actually our last example. Now, in this example, all you really want to do is actually stop a form from refreshing the entire page when it submits. Maybe you might want to do some input validation before the form data goes out. Or maybe you might actually want to send that form data using JavaScript instead of the actual HTML post. Either way, we can actually stop the form from preventing with v.onSubmit.prevent. Now, let's actually go into our page to see what this may look like. As you can see, all we see is prevent submit. And if we come in here, of course, script tag at the top, script tag instantiating Vue at the bottom, and then we just got an H1 that echoes out message. And in this case, message is prevent submit. Now, we're just going to drop in here a quick form just for simplicity. And we'll remove this for now so you understand what actually goes on. So if you look at this, you'll see the form has an input of type equals text. The button is a type submit and it's called button, and the inside of the button is just called message, and it's probably just going to say prevent submit. It will just say prevent submit. Now watch what happens. We'll see the form. Our main problem is this, however. We'll type something into the form, prevent submit. This actually submits because if you look at the refresh bar, it's actually reloading the page every single time we click this. And as a front-end developer, depending on what you're doing, you may not want to do that. Quick remedy though, prevent submit. So now we're going to put in v-on sub. Actually, wait. v-on submit.prevent something. Now, when it comes to something, we don't actually have something. We actually have to put a function in there, aka a method. So we're going to make a method down here called something. And we're just going to make this thing alert. We're going to make this alert, I don't know. We'll have it say, I'm not submitting. Alright, so we can have this say I'm not submitting, and that's pretty much all this function is going to do. Now we'll come up here on submit prevent. It's going to stop the submission and it's going to run this function. This can be to check your fields or whatever your function does. I have no way of actually knowing that. So we're going to type in something, hit save. When we come back, we'll reload this page, of course. And let's actually get rid of all of this. Reload the page, fine. So now we're gonna come in here and pay attention to the refresh button. I'm not submitting, so it runs the function, but it doesn't actually submit the form. Therefore, it doesn't reload the page. So you can use this in a lot of different instances actually. So this has been submit prevent. Alright guys, thank you for watching Code 6. I'll have the tags in the description to actually say at which stage in the video each different directive is, just in case you actually wanted to skip through it and only get a few pieces of data instead of actually watching the entire video through. Thanks for watching Code 6. Like, comment, share, and subscribe.